Hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I'm your host, Shante Roddy. I have a special guest today. We are here to talk about 2024 tax tips, tax strategies for you and your business. So, this is for all of you entrepreneurs, if you're aspiring business owners, nonprofits. I'm excited about this because we're all about wealth building and building a legacy, and taxes are a part of that, right? And I don't know about you. I know a lot of people think taxes is boring. I think it's super sexy, especially when it comes to business owners and the tax advantages that we have at our availability. So I'm super excited to talk about that today. Come on in. We welcome your questions. If you have questions, we will definitely address them during the live and then follow up after the show to address some of your questions as well, because there's a lot to know, there's a lot to learn. And those for you that are new here, welcome on in. Let us know who you are, where you're hailing from, what your business is, and let you know how you can support our programming. We do have a stars program. So if you're on Facebook, if you're viewing in, give us a star. If you are on following us on YouTube, you can use the super chats and super stickers. We definitely appreciate your support as we continue to support you all as entrepreneurs. Now, we want to welcome in also our Instagram family that is new. We have recently started live streaming to Instagram, so we welcome you all in. And I saw there were a lot of them on live during my last broadcast. So we welcome you all in. We appreciate you being here. And no further talk is necessary. I want to introduce you to our special guest, Lysandra. She is known as the Home Biz Tax Lady. So I'm going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. But I want to let you know, I have known her for several years now. I don't know how long we've known each other, but we met online. That's the power of being online, is the power of networking, meeting new people, strangers that become family. And I have been following her over the years. She's been following me. This was before I even started She Boss Talk, because I've been in business 10 years and I've been following her, and she is so knowledgeable. She is such a professional. She's certified. Okay. So I welcome you to our show.
I'm excited to be here. Listen, I love it because we knew each other before we
Yes.
was all this, right?
Yes. Yes. In the
Before the
early beginning.
fabulousness.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
In the
before the
early beginning.
fabulousness. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us, introduce us. Tell us about
Yeah.
yourself, who you are, and what you do, and how you support small business.
Absolutely. So, yes, my name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady. I'm the owner of Everett Tax Solutions and ETS Tax Relief for both virtual firms, specializing in helping small businesses with tax preparation as well as tax solving problems and tax planning as well. So, we just celebrated 7 years on Tuesday.
Yes.
So it's girl, seven. Can you say, listen, like, so
Congratulations.
so we really have been connected since the beginning for both of our businesses. And like I think that is just so cool, just watching the growth over time. And so yes, we do not despise small beginnings, because baby, these beginnings ain't small now. Hey.
Yes. Yes. And tell us a little bit about why you decided to pursue this path to help small businesses with taxes.
Yeah, so if you'd have told me 8 years ago that this was going to be my life, I'd have been like, yeah, right. But it just so happens that this was something that I always wanted to do. So it was one of those things, it was a God thing. Like, I really believe in divine intervention. So
Yes.
taxes came at a time where I was like, I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm not doing anything right now. I'd love to do this. And then as I got started, I just realized that the most people that were getting into tax trouble were small businesses,
Mhm.
right? And we're talking about these small businesses, the ones that are at the kitchen table still, that were getting into the most tax trouble. And so, because I come from the home business industry, every business starts at home. I don't care. It could be at the kitchen table, because that's where Amazon started, at the kitchen table. Apple started in the garage. I don't care
Yes.
what the business is, they all start at home. If you can't get off the kitchen table, that's where you start, not where you stay. And so that's why I really focused on home and small businesses, because people were dying within the first 5 years, like we talk about those statistics. But it's because of a lack of knowledge. It wasn't a lack of willingness and trying to do all that you can do, but this tax thing, this money thing, it will put you out of business quicker than anything else.
Yes, yes. And can you explain to us? I know you have the EA, the enrolled agent
Mhm.
credentials. Can you tell us about that? Because I think that's super important.
Absolutely.
People may need it at some point. You'll need their
Right.
assistance.
Because what happens is everybody say, I need a CPA. And they're
Mhm.
like, what's an EA? And I totally get it, because CPAs, they have fantastic marketing, first of all. Like, CPAs rock in that in that respect. But there's a whole accounting degree, right? But you don't have a degree in tax. You can't get an undergraduate in tax. So most people have never heard of an enrolled agent. And so we are licensed by the Department of Treasury to represent taxpayers before the IRS in all 50 states. So we have a national license where CPAs are regulated by state. So that's the difference. Can CPAs, because I know there'll be somebody like CPAs can do XYZ, totally get it. But we're talking about EAs right now. Okay, this is what we do. So we are tax specialists, where CPAs are accounting specialists, and in their training, it's a whole bunch of accounting, a little bit of tax. What we do is all tax. We eat, sleep, and breathe taxation. That's where our focus is. And so we do have some with accounting backgrounds, but that's the focus of our practice is taxation. We are America's tax experts.
Awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying that, because for a lot of business owners, even those that's been in business for many, many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
don't really have a good understanding of taxes and their tax responsibilities, and
Mm-hmm.
also the tax benefits that are available to them as business owners. So for those that are kind of new to this, can you just give us like a summary or simplified example of taxes and why it's important? Like,
So taxes is the biggest bill you're going to pay. It more than college, more than these expensive children that we have. Taxes is the biggest bill that you're going to pay. And so the goal is to pay the lowest amount legally allowable. That's the goal. Now, I always get somebody that says, I want to pay taxes like Donald Trump and I want to pay taxes like Jeff Bezos. But I'm like, you got to look behind that, because
mhm,
see, Trump lost $1 billion. And with proper tax planning, he was able to not pay taxes, but he had to lose $1 billion first. I'm not about that life. Jeff Bezos also, he lost a lot of money reinvesting in all of these things. So there's a lot that goes behind that. And there are all sorts of taxes that these big corporations pay that small businesses don't. So don't compare where you are to what you see in the news, because it's different for everybody. Everybody's tax picture is different. Everybody can be small business owners, and everybody's tax picture will look different than the next person. So you can't get caught up in that either. But the thing about the tax code is it really is designed to benefit business owners. That part is absolutely true. And there are so many things that you can do. It takes some doing, right? And this is why you have a tax professional on your team, because they're looking at your picture and saying, based on your situation, these are the things that you can do to maximize this tax situation, right? So it really is important from the beginning to have a tax person on your team.
absolutely. I would agree. And I wanted to just touch on something that you said about the expectations that people have,
Mm-hmm.
that are not realistic expectations, and they really don't, again, have the background information, right? It looks glitzy and glammy on the outside, but you have to
Yeah.
start digging to find out what's happening beneath and why they're able to get the benefits that they're able to get. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that brings me to something that, because I used to be in the tax industry as well. But what I find is, and is also helping people like during COVID, is that there is a mindset that I think entrepreneurs have and business owners that they don't leave behind when they start pursuing business. And it's the mindset that of an expectation that they're going to get a refund check at the end of
Ooh,
every year. And the fact that
yeah.
they get stuck there, it's a whole different scenario between you as a consumer, right, or a person paying taxes from your employment income
Hmm.
versus being an entrepreneur or business owner.
Yes.
And the mentality to say, my expectation is that every single year I'm gonna get a refund without knowing what that means, and that then you're afraid to get ahead and make
Hmm.
more money for the fact that you're not going to get a refund at the end of each year. Can
Yeah, that is such a painful thing, and it is a real straight talk that I have with my new entrepreneurs. Like, yeah, your refund days are gone. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're not getting a tax refund. So the first thing I always tell people is first to know why you're getting a tax refund. Are you getting a tax refund because you had extra withholdings? Are you getting a refund because of a refundable tax credit? You got to go know why you're getting a refund. But then from there, as a business owner, if you are strictly self-employed or running a business, the only way that you're going to get a refund is if you overpaid in estimates. COVID also spoiled a lot of people because there's also a lot of money running around, and there were some tax credits that were available to self-employed individuals where we usually don't have that, right? But COVID was like, here's self-employed people, here's a little something for you guys because you never get anything. But
right,
as a business owner, if your business is funding your life, you are not getting refunds because you have to send money to the government to pay your tax bill. And if you do that, if you pay those estimates the way that you're supposed to, sometimes the answer to the question is pay your estimates. People are like, why, how could I not owe so much at the end of the year? Well, right now it's just pay your estimates. Sometimes the answer is it's not pretty, but it's simple.
yes. And can you speak on self-employment tax as well?
Absolutely. So self-employment tax, that you hear about that 15.3%. So the self-employment tax is a social security and Medicare for self-employed people. So like when you look at your W-2, you have your federal tax, you have your social security and your Medicare. Well, as a self-employed, guess what? You paying that for yourself. Okay. So you do get an adjustment for half of it, but you're paying that. All right. And most people scream, I don't want to pay self-employment tax. Like that sounds real cute until you're trying to draw Social Security. And so what do we get? We get people in their 60s trying to go back now and file tax returns that they have not filed because they don't have any Social Security coming in, right? So that's what the self-employment tax is. It's not bad. Like nobody wants to pay taxes. Can we say that?
Mhm.
Nobody likes to write checks to any part of the government. I don't care if it's the federal, the state, the city. I don't care. Everybody wants all these great things and nobody wants to write the checks. Now that we got that out of the way, it's a necessary evil. Okay, it is what it is. And so that's what that Social Security and Medicare is for. And and I hear people, oh well, Social Security might not be there when we get there. Is that absolutely possible? Sure. But here's the deal: if it is there when we get there and you have not paid in, then you will not get anything.
Mhm.
Right? Of course, our goal in life is not to have to live off of Social Security alone. However, life happens, right? Even wealthy people
Yes.
get Social Security. Be clear on that. Okay. So
Yes.
they're getting those coins too.
Absolutely. And what are some maybe tax strategies or tax planning tips that you can offer for business owners? Like, what
So
would be one of the tips that you would offer?
so the first thing is get that bookkeeping together. Most people say here the tax chick is supposed to be talking about taxes, but the beginning of a good tax outcome is bookkeeping.
Yes.
I can't tell you the number of people that I get that have no clue how much money they've made. And so then when I tell them what they owe, they're like, you have to do something. When you get to me at tax time, it's too late. The doing happens between January 1st and December 31st. That's when the doing happens. And so
Yes.
and here's the thing, and this is what you got to know. Like during the year tax planning, That's like you going to get a physical. You like something's wrong with me. We're going to the doctor. We're trying to figure out what it is so we can fix it. At tax time, it's an autopsy. I can only tell you what happened to you. That's all I
Exactly.
can do. And so that is like the first foundational thing is get some bookkeeping. Please do not think just because you have QuickBooks that you are a bookkeeper. No, I run a tax office. I don't do my bookkeeping. I pay my bookkeeper just like everybody else. Right? So that's the first thing. And second thing is also to know your tax situation. And you're like, Lysandra, what do you mean? Well, you look at, your children. Do you own a home? All of these things that are going on. Do you have investments? Are you getting dividends? It's like all of those things impact your tax picture. So you got to know, where's the money coming from? What's going on with the money? Because sometimes we have W-2 income along with self-employed income. All of that matters. And so when people are talking about, you know, electing S corp, for instance, to save on self-employment tax, well, if you don't know how much you're paying in self-employment tax, then you have no idea if a business structure is going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just hear what's on these TikTok streets and Instagram streets and things. So you really got to know about your money and all of the money in your home. It's like that's going to impact what you do. Um, and then be willing to pay for tax planning. So tax planning again is done during the year. That's when you're like, oh, I've suddenly made $500,000. That is a call to your tax person when this happens, because that way you can strategize before the end of the year of how to mitigate the tax circumstances. So this is why I'm saying you have to know who you're going to call before you need to call them, right? Find that good tax person, make sure they know about your business, the type of business that you have. Because with tax deductions, there are a lot of tax deductions that are blanket. We got advertising, you got, bank fees, you got rental fees, there are some of those fees that everybody can deduct. But then there are things that are specific to your industry. Like someone says that she has a cleaning business in Arizona. Okay, well, great. That means that your, mops and buckets and, towels and all those things, those are going to be a tax deductible expense for you. But me as a tax person, the IRS cares not about a mop and a bucket because, baby, that ain't what you do. Right. So you have things that are specific to your industry that are tax deductible that are not, won't necessarily apply to someone else. So having someone that knows your industry is going to help you be successful at tax time. And then planning. Listen, if you are not looking at your numbers, right?
Mm.
When you have bookkeeping, I should not ask you how much money have you made and you go, I don't know. You should be able to at least push a button and say, okay, this quarter I have made $100,000 gross and my profit is 35,000. Boom. You should be able to do that in the push of a button, because then that's going to help you make good decisions about your business, whether if you need to buy new equipment, whatever that is. And see, with all of the this is why you really deal with the professional, because we stay up on top of these credits. There are credits that come and credits that go, right? So you have to know which ones are going to apply to you right now.
Absolutely. Let's take a step back really quickly because I wanted to expound on the bookkeeping piece.
Hmm.
I don't want to like speed like through that.
Right.
It is very important. Just like she said, she does not do her own bookkeeping. I don't do my own bookkeeping. Like it's, and let me just tell you some tools that's out there. QuickBooks is great. FreshBooks is great. Zero is a good tool to be able to use. There's even free accounting tools. So no matter what your budget is, there's a tool out there that you can use. However, if you don't know how to use the tool, or you don't have clean and correct data to provide the tool, then you're still going to be in a terrible situation. And
Garbage in, garbage out.
exactly. And I cannot tell you enough, and I say this all the time. Hiring my bookkeeper was probably the number one best decision I have made in my business. No matter how much I thought I was doing it, I was not staying on top of it. I
Mhm.
was not staying on top of it. I had my system together. I put the things in there, and I was just like, I realized this is not my zone of genius, and
That's right.
this is not where I need to be focusing my time. I need an expert at this to make sure they're managing my books, accounting for every single transaction. And I have a lot of transactions. So even when
Yeah.
I hired her, brought her on, she cleaned up my books for two of my businesses, got me on the right path, and then let me know like you're actually more advanced than where you think you are, and you have a lot of transactions coming in from a lot of different places. That's
Yeah.
great, but it goes back to what Lashandra said about the fact that so many business owners have no clue about how much money you're making in your business. You don't know how much you're making, and you don't know how
Don't
much
know
you're
how much
spending.
you're spending.
And I'm talking about people
Absolutely.
that's making a million, six figures and up, seven figures.
Yes. Yes.
I got
I
people
listen.
they don't know.
They listen. When I tell you, there are some, there are some very big influencers that are my clients, and when they get to me, I'm sitting here like, um,
Mm,
what have you been doing? You've been going out here and making the money, but not managing. And see, the bookkeeper is absolutely the first person you should hire. I'm the tax chick, and I'm
yes.
telling you, you need to hire a bookkeeper before you get to me. Why? Because your bookkeeper is going to supply the data for you to have a good tax return. And
And
that's what's
easy.
going to help you pay the least amount. That's
Yes.
what it is. So absolutely, if you that's your first hire is your bookkeeper. Like you need somebody keeping an eye on your money. And what I love what you said, it's not your zone of genius.
Hmm.
I have a lot of creative clients, and this is something. So, if you are, especially my creatives, if you are creative and you are under the sound of my voice, I want you to let this go, right? Because your job is to go out here, be visionaries, come up with nice stuff, you know, make things beautiful and come up with new hairstyles and paint colors and making things so beautiful and all of that stuff. We tax people, we in a box. We like our box,
Hmm.
right? Because we have our rules and confines. So that's not my zone of genius. People like, oh, girl, you can go to Canva and you can create your graphic. No, 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 because that ain't what I do. That's not my zone of genius. I'm very linear. I don't know how to, make these different shapes and things. That's what you do. That's why I hire creatives, right? So
Exactly.
I want you to, and as a business owner, I also want you to let it go simply because of this. We have this pervasive attitude that you should be able to do it all. That is not true. We were designed to be interdependent. Okay, that's who we were created as humans. But if you want to be Warren Buffett, I guarantee you Warren Buffett does not do his own accounting.
Oh yeah.
I will guarantee you twice that he don't file his own taxes. He know what's in them taxes, I'm
Mhm.
sure, but he's not preparing the returns. He is over there looking at his stocks and figuring out how he's going to make more money
Mm.
because that's his zone of genius. So I really want you to let that go as a business owner, that you need to know how to do everything. You need to know how to verify things.
Mhm.
That's what you need to know how to do, but you don't need to know how to actually do it.
Yes, and hire the right people.
Hire the right
So
people.
let me
So you,
expound, and I'll get to the hiring in just a second. But going back really quickly to the tax planning. Again, I don't want to skip over this either because
mm-hmm,
it's so important, and so many people miss this step. They just think, okay, it's the end of the year, it's tax season, I'm going to file my taxes, instead of really utilizing your tax professionals and bookkeepers for why they are there to help you plan, to make
mm-hmm,
the most use of out of your money, right? That's what these things can do when you're able to have access to experts that can help you plan, strategize, put better uses to your money, be able to show you where you may be losing money, where you can save money in your business. I've seen people find out that they were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars that they didn't even know that they were losing. They didn't even
Yep.
know that they're able to save the money. So
Right.
I tell people this all the time. There's gonna be a cost, okay? Because you want to invest in
Absolutely.
yourself. It's gonna be higher on the back end. I wish people would get this because they don't. They will not hire somebody, do it, think that they did it right, or hire the wrong person that does it wrong and creates a mess. Then you hire someone else to come and clean it up. It's going to be more expensive. What they don't
Yep.
realize is that person is not a simple cleanup. I did this before. So if someone has to go clean up your return, amend your return, they have to do that return from scratch.
Yep.
It's not like a tweak of okay, I'm gonna just change this number in the field. They have to go through a whole process of
Yes.
learning, understanding your business. They want to deep dive into your documentation and then analyzing everything and then preparing your taxes. And then filing
Absolutely.
them all over again. It's a lot of work. So oftentimes we see people double, triple paying, and you're paying a higher cost because um you're not doing the right thing in the beginning. You're sidestepping or
Yeah.
not taking the correct steps in the beginning. That's going to cost you less than having to recover on the back end. So can you speak to
Prevent Yeah, prevention is always cheaper than the cure, right?
that?
Because going to the doctor on a regular basis for a physical is way cheaper than emergency surgery,
That's
right?
good.
And so that's really what we try to tell you. So, your tax preparation is one thing. Tax planning is another service. Tax resolution is something else too. And so tax planning is a completely separate service than tax preparation, okay? Because tax planning, you are not during tax time, we are not thinking with the planning brain.
Right.
We are in straight, we got the adrenaline going because we got a deadline to meet. But you should be making an appointment after tax season. Usually during the summer, you find out from your tax person, hey, when do you get your brain back? I'd like to come and talk about, my tax plan going forward. Okay. And even in that conversation, you need to have your goals. It's not just, oh, I want to save tax dollars. Think about the things that you want to do, because some of the decisions are, am I going to pay taxes now, or am I going to pay taxes later? Right. So with some of the vehicles that are out there, so you have to have an idea of what your goals are in the life that you want to lead. And then we can come up with a plan. Now, in implementing the plan, there's a lot of different people involved. Everybody wants the tax person to do it all. No. You have a retirement person for a reason. You have a certified financial planner for a reason. We don't all do it all, because if we do, we don't do it well.
Mm.
Right? So that's why I tell people, like,
Yes.
no, I am not a financial planner, but I have someone that I can refer you to because that's their jam. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I am not a retirement specialist. That is not what I do. I got someone to refer you to because that's their jam. And that whole team works together to then put in the plan that's working for you. Okay.
That's it.
And your plan is not going to look like your friend's plan, because what happens? Well, Susie got $600 back and I had to pay 1,000.
It happens all the time.
Like, okay, but you don't know if you and Susie make the same amount of money. You don't know if, Susie overpaid and estimates. You don't know nothing about Susie. You just know that this is what happened, right? The result, but you don't know all the things that happen. So you really have to understand that tax is an individual sport. It really is.
It is. And I like that you said that. To stop the comparison. Because
Yeah,
even if somebody tells you one little thing, they haven't given you the full picture. I can guarantee you. I've seen it so many times, and I've heard that so many times. Oh, so and so got this much, or they did this, or they didn't have to do that, and you do not know their whole financial picture,
right.
if any of it, really, to be able
Yeah.
to even make a comparison. And I would just focus on what it is that you need, what is going to help you be more successful, what is going to help you be in a position to live the life you want to live, and that's going to help you to be able to grow and expand your business. That's
Hmm.
why we're here, to teach you these strategies that is really going to help you. And it starts with tax planning. Don't wait till the end of the year to reach out to your tax professionals or your
Hmm.
bookkeepers or accountants or CPAs. Talk to
Listen,
them throughout the year, because if you're not, you're at a disadvantage. I'm gonna just say that right now. If you only are talking to these financial experts when it's time to file your taxes, you are putting you and your business at a financial disadvantage. Okay?
it's and that's absolutely true. And this is, listen, this is why you schedule appointments. I get so many people who call and complain, well, I called my person, I couldn't get them on the phone. Did you set an appointment? Because an appointment means you and I are both going to have time at the same time. And if you give that professional enough time to say, hey, I need to set an appointment, these are the things I want to talk about. And so that gives them enough time to prepare for your meeting and also gather any resources. So whenever someone schedules with me, I'm asking, what's the problem? What are your concerns? So that I can gather any resources ahead of time, then you and I can really focus on having this conversation to make sure you have an understanding of what the plan is going forward.
Yes.
So,
And I know I meet
and
with my bookkeeper monthly, and my financial advisor, we just had a conversation, and we agreed that we would meet on a quarterly basis. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard from many professionals that say they can't get business owners to get on calls. They're taking a hands-off approach. Yes, I hire my bookkeeper, but I need to sit down on a monthly basis and have a conversation and review my financial documentation so I can know where I'm at. I have an opportunity to then ask the questions about what these reports are saying, making sure that I understand the information that the reports are giving me and what they mean for my business. If I'm never
mhm.
part of the process, again, I'm doing myself a disservice. So when your tax professional, when your accountant, when your bookkeeper is making themselves available for you to get on a call and to review where you're at, get on those calls. Make sure you know and understand what is happening. Again, this is to your benefit, and I'll talk about some of those other benefits in just
But
a second.
can I talk about the responsibility part? Because
Yes,
this is where honestly our heads are about to explode. Okay.
yes.
So you do hire us for a service, but that does not relinquish you of your responsibility
Mm,
as a business owner, right? So let
yes,
me give you a story. There was a business owner who hired his CPA to file an extension, right? Life happens, CPA missed it. The taxpayer got a penalty, and it was like a five-figure penalty because of what they owed. And you know who had to pay that penalty? The taxpayer, because the law says there are certain things that you cannot relinquish to your professional.
that's right.
Filing an extension and even filing your return. If I mess up and don't file your return, it's still your fault, right? So this is why you can't sleep on any of this process. Usain Bolt just got robbed of how many millions?
Mm,
Because he wasn't checking. He hired someone to check for him, but he didn't check the person he hired to check. You cannot go to sleep at the wheel on your tax and your business life. I have clients upset. You did not call me to remind me to pay my estimates. That's really interesting because estimated tax payments happen at the same time every year. How do you remember birthdays? You put them in your calendar. I
mm,
don't know. Put the estimated tax dates in your calendar. You cannot relinquish that responsibility just because you pay somebody. You have to pay attention. This is how embezzlement happens in businesses. you
mm.
you relinquish your control and say, just handle it. I just want to go over here and do this. I didn't say you had to do it, but you need to verify that it's done. like i
Yes,
like if we could do anything else in 2024, if we could do that, that would be so awesome.
yes.
That would be so
Accountability,
awesome. The accountability.
accountability, and responsibility of the business owner. I say this all the time, and thank you for saying that. It doesn't matter who you hire. The buck stops with us as the business owner. Ask Steve Harvey. She just gave you another. There's so many examples of this, of people that take a hands-off approach. Oh, I'm gonna just give it to my tax person. I'm gonna just give it to my accountant. And years of taxes weren't paid. $1 million were owed, and
Mm-hmm.
jail time would happen if you can't give them their money, because the IRS is not playing when it comes to their money. Okay. And so I was just shocked by the Steve Harvey story, 7 years,
Yeah.
and didn't find out until his accountant died that he thought it was paid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes I get frustrated as a business owner that I have to check off on every single thing financially. But at the same time, it guarantees that I know everything that's going on in my business, that something doesn't happen without my knowledge and without my approval. I have to sign off on everything
Mm-hmm.
in the
That's
business.
it.
So
That's it.
again, we all have to be accountable. Now, can you share with us some best practices for and due diligence things that we should be doing when we are seeking to hire a tax professional?
Absolutely. So let me say this. You got shady people everywhere. You got shady people with credentials, you got shady people without credentials, okay? Let's be clear on that, okay? But when you are seeking out a professional, the first thing is, are they credentialed, right? You have enrolled agents, and then there's the other people. So there are a lot of brilliant tax professionals out there who don't have credentials, but are they taking continuing education? Because see, I keep a running tally of mine. Like if anybody wants any of my receipts, I can screenshot that stuff like right now, right? So those are things like, are you taking continuing education? Ask if they're familiar with your industry, because if they are, they'll be able to speak your industry language,
Mm-hmm.
right? So listen for those types of cues. And please do not let price be your decider. Okay. So, like, for instance, I had someone that reached out to me a couple of days ago and she didn't like my rate. Oh, so and so is cheaper. So and so is cheaper. Like, cheaper might be great, but that doesn't mean it's better.
Exactly.
Okay. So, someone who is asking you all of the business and driving you absolutely insane with their questions is probably doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we're asking, and sometimes it seems like we're being intrusive, but really what we're doing is what's called due diligence. You know why? Because we can get fined for not doing our due diligence to the tune of like $600 each. It's not cute. Okay, not at all. But you want to look at their credentials. You want to ask about their continuing education, and you want to ask them what they know about your industry, right? Because there are certain people that specialize. They may specialize in stylists or restaurants, service-based businesses. There are a lot of different specialties out there, and then just really talking to them. But listen, even when you get your return, right? Read the actual return. Don't just look at the bottom line and say, oh, I owe this much or I'm getting this much back. You need to look at the whole return, because every tax form has the title of the form on the top of the page. So if you have a form and you don't understand what it means, that person should be able to tell you exactly what it means. And if it doesn't sound right, walk away. Like, I don't
That's it.
care, you know? And so, like, with my clients get a video. Not everybody shoots videos for their clients. I'm just happen to be a video person. But they know every single line, where this number came from and why. And simply because there's so much foolishness out there that they don't even know how to act when they get somebody that's actually following the law. And so this is, it's like, so once you have this video, you can go line by line, like, okay, this is my W-2 income. All right. This is my, like, okay, I don't understand this extra tax right here. Fantastic. This is why you have this tax. There you go. So you still don't get to, even though you may have a good professional, you still don't go to sleep at the wheel, because we are human and we also make mistakes. So you need to make sure that what's coming from their mouths really makes sense for your situation, because mistakes do happen. I have made them. I have fixed them, but I have made them, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so you, and then you're really building a relationship with, you're looking for somebody to build a relationship with. This one off, I got Larry doing my tax return this year, Curly this year, Mo next year. They're not really building a relationship with you. When you really build a relationship with a professional, not only are they preparing your taxes, they're looking at your progression over the years. And they're telling you, listen, I understand that you really might like this business, but baby, this is not working. You need to go hire a coach and do something. Or, you know what, hey, this is going really, really great. Based on what you're doing, you really might need to consider doing XYZ the next year, right? That's what building a relationship is like. So it's not just the mechanics of it all, it's also building a relationship where you can really have those in-depth discussions. Sometimes they're very hard discussions, right?
That's
My
good.
husband say I talk to people like I'm their mama. I'm just passionate about what I do. That's just how it come out.
I always tell people, be suspect. Even people I hire, if you're not asking questions, that's a problem to me.
Right.
So they should be asking you questions because they're wanting to learn your business. Like if they're just like, oh, we can do this and I can do that, and they never ask you anything about your business. And I would say too, those that are sharing knowledge, they're wanting to educate you. It's not like they're doing it in secret. That
Right.
should be a red flag. If they're doing it in secret, you don't know nothing about your numbers or what anything means. They're not even sharing it with you. That should be a red flag for you. And then when she mentioned about the cost, should not even be your number one thought about what it is. People need to start thinking about what is the return on investment. What
Yes.
is the cost of you not taking the action and investing in an expert that knows what they're doing, that can help you grow and expand your business? The cost is much higher. I wish people would
Mhm.
get that. It is so high. Okay. And then
It,
not, one more thing, and
yeah.
then not going with the person say, how much can you get me? Again, back to that it's a lack mentality, right? How much
Yeah.
a refund? Can you guarantee this or that? Nobody, all these guarantees people want,
Yeah.
when there's so many variables that are in the equation that determine a thing. It determines an amount or a tax credit, or if you have to pay back or not, or if you getting a certain amount back or not. And like she said, as a business owner, are gone are the days that you're getting refunds. You can expect to be paying taxes or at least breaking even at zero. So
Yeah.
to hire somebody with that expectation, then you fall victim. You fall
Yes.
victim to the scammers that are out there that make big tell you that you can get all of these different things and that you can't even get. Oh, I'm gonna make sure you get $50,000 back. How? And you,
How? How?
And
Have
you should be
mercy. How?
asking how? How are you planning on doing that, sir, ma'am? And you have to ask the questions. And very quickly, you can determine if somebody is legitimate or not. If they
Yeah.
have your best interest at heart or not, you will know. You will be able to sense it. Don't bypass it trying to be greedy and get something that you are not even entitled to. When you can do the right thing, hire the right person that is going to get you those very benefits that you are eligible for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
And
Cassandra.
and so, and you said that exact thing. It's like what's the cost of not doing it,
The
right?
cost of not doing it.
Because that is going to be so much higher. But like you said, if you get somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, so I know you, they said that you owe, but I'm gonna get you money back. Like, what, you haven't looked at anything. What is it that you know that's like there is something wrong there? There really is. And we have all of the influencers out here, and you see the marketing, right? The marketing is, um, here, let me get you all this money. right? Because it sounds sexy and it speaks to that greed. And that is then what makes people go, go with these other folks. And the rest of us are sitting here like, we'll see in about 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. We're like, we'll see in about 2 years when you get audited, and then we have to fix it, and then you have to pay that back plus penalties and interest, and it's not cute at all.
It's not. It's not. Now we have a question. We have a
Yes.
few questions in the comments.
Okay.
Lisa, someone was asking if can you speak on tax benefits if there's a difference between using a home address versus a business address?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're talking about taking the home office deduction, but if you have a dedicated space that's used exclusively for business, so it can be a room or a part of a room that is used exclusively for business, then you can take a deduction for a percentage of your overall living costs. Even with, regardless of whether you rent or own, you are entitled to take the home office deduction if you have an area of your home that you use exclusively for business. Now, you can have your home office, but you can have an offsite mailing address, right? Like I don't have my business mail come to my home. I have it. I have a PO box that that I get that sent to, right? So I'm guessing that you're talking about the home office deduction, but if that's not what you mean, please let me know.
No, that's good. That's good because a lot of people don't know about the home deduction, and a lot of people, if they know about it, they don't know that there are certain qualifications that you must meet. You must
And here's
actually
the
be
other
using
thing
it as
too,
an office
is
space.
like the thing that's on the street is like, oh, if you put the home office deduction, then you're going to get audited. That is not true. That is simply not true. So, yes, if you have an area of your home that you use exclusively for business, then you can take the home office deduction, which is a percentage of your overall living expenses, just
And
to keep score.
I've taken it every year.
Mhm.
I've been.
Yes.
People think that too. You lose out on benefits because you're a home based business. No, I have not. I've gotten every type of benefit that you can think of, and having a home based business has not hindered me, not one bit.
And let me say this too. Do not fall for that. Oh, you need an LLC in order to get these tax benefits. That is so not true. I have so many people going out here and starting, LLCs when you can, it's okay to start out as a sole proprietor and figure some stuff out, right?
Mhm.
Your taxes are going to look the same as a sole proprietor, as a single member LLC. They're taxed the very same way. So the LLC is more of a legal structure than it is a tax structure. So, if you're just starting out, it is totally okay to be a sole proprietor. Go get your business license locally, figure some stuff out, then go and get your LLC and all of that stuff. You don't need to go and form all this business structure. People want to get loop it and swoop it. I got a holding company and two LLCs and a S corp, and and I do backflips. Like, how much have you sold? Nothing.
Nothing. I found that out during COVID. Here's another question. This is a good question because I was going to ask something along these lines.
Mhm.
This was again from Lisa. She's really wanting to know, like, at what point in your business, or how do you know when it's time to hire a tax professional like yourself?
At the
At the
beginning.
beginning. At the
Yep.
beginning.
Bookkeeper first, tax person second.
Second.
Like, seriously.
At the very beginning, like even
Right.
before you've made money, like what people don't understand is like the Zuckerbergs of the world and the Bezos, when they first started at home in their garage, in their office, in their bedrooms, right? When they, were not making any money, they were still tracking financials and they were filing taxes. Now, along these lines, there's a big misconception, and I heard it even prior to COVID, but a lot during COVID. This was a big problem. So I want to make sure we address this before we close out. Is the many people that for some reason think they do not have to file taxes. They
Oh
do
my
not have
God.
to file business taxes. I haven't heard one person say somebody, whoever this somebody is, told them that they did not have to file taxes until they had at least made $20,000 in their business. So please, can you set the record straight
Whew,
on
that gives me
the
heart palpitations.
requirement of filing your taxes
That gives me palpitations. Okay, listen, you are required to file your taxes every year.
every year.
Every year, unless you have no filing requirement. And you say, Lysandra, what does that mean? Well, if you are a W 2 employee, that's all the money you make. If you make less than 12,000 or whatever the standard deduction is for that year, you don't have to file. You might want to because you have paid some taxes in and you might want that money back, but you don't have to file. Now, for businesses, you're going to file every year. There's no, oh, I can go file every 2 years. No, you file every single year. And really, because, listen, again, as a business owner, you're going to owe. If you don't file on time, you are going to have the failure to file penalty, which is based on what you owe. And that failure to file penalty is 10 times more expensive than the failure to pay penalty. So even if you file your taxes and you say, okay, I really don't have the money to pay this tax bill, you're saving money by filing on time anyway. So you absolutely do that. And if you heard me say that and you're wondering, Lysandra, how much do I need to save for taxes? Take 30% off the top. If you're not doing anything else, if you take 30% off the top, put it in a savings account. I don't care if it's preferably an interest bearing account, a high yield savings account. Put the money there so that you are covered on your taxes. If you save too much, then you have choices. If you don't save enough, then you have problems. That 30% off the top generally covers you. Okay. But even if you're short, you won't be that short to where it's a problem. So do that to save for taxes.
Now
Um,
let me mention this too, okay? Because I helped so many people over the last 4 years with a number of the COVID programs, grants, loans, lines of credits, all the things, okay,
mhm.
and getting funding. And it was so sad the many people that were not able to take advantage of the programs simply because they failed to file tax
Yep.
returns. And
Yep.
I'm not talking about they missed 1 year. I'm talking about there were
Several.
people that said they were in business 5 years, and the 5 years they've been in business, they have never filed a tax return.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you made zero or you made
Yeah.
$1 million or more, you are responsible to file your business taxes. Okay.
Every year.
And the failure to do so, she talked about the penalties, but that's not even it. The bigger thing is all the other opportunities you're missing out on, all of the deductions that
Yeah.
you're missing out on. Because what happens is that, again, a scarcity mindset that I've heard that business owners say, you want to hide your earnings from the government. Then when it's time to get money, you can't get it because you have understated the money that you're making, the revenue
Yep.
that you're generating in your business. So now you're trying to grow your business. You found this new business over here you want to buy, or you want to expand and get this new location. Guess what? You cannot, because you don't have anything on record that shows you made money in your business.
Yep.
So you made $1 million, but on record, it looks like you only made $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or there's no record at all to tell what you made. And so you can't go to a bank. You can't go to a grantor and say, hey, I need this amount of money. I want to apply for this. You have no record to show that you did any business. Okay. And it
And
and it
that
needs
can,
go ahead.
when COVID, the thing that COVID did is showed how many people just were not doing what they were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We got so many calls. I need 4 years worth of bookkeeping now. And oh, by the way, I don't have any money.
Whew.
What you want me to do? Right? And it was pervasive,
Yes.
especially in the Black community. Like that hurt me. But I'm like, so like the rollout of COVID was trash. I totally get that. But the number of people that weren't ready,
Ready.
that's the problem. They weren't ready.
They weren't ready. It was so sad. It was so
So you
sad.
couldn't even get in line. You couldn't even get in line to get the money that even when the second iteration rolled out, you couldn't even get in line because you didn't have tax returns, you didn't have books, you didn't have these things. And it was painful to watch. And everybody wanted to make it seem like it was a racist type thing. It was not racist. People weren't ready. And we told you, and we continue to tell you, like this is just like your health. If you eat too many sweets, what's gonna happen? You're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have high blood pressure. You're gonna do it. But when you get the
Yep.
vegetables and all those things together, what happens? You're a healthier person, right? Bookkeeping and tax is vegetables. We don't always like them, but they're good for
They're
us
necessary. Yes,
and
they're
they're
good for us.
necessary. That's what it
Yeah.
is. So I want to address something because somebody said I've
Yes.
had the same tax person over the past 3 years. I feel I need to switch because they just file my tax, but I do all the bookkeeping work myself. Okay, let me say this. People try to minimize what we do and say, you're just putting in numbers. It's not just putting in numbers, it's knowing why the numbers go where they go.
That's it.
And
That's
we
it.
invest, a good professional, we invest lots of money to know where these numbers are supposed to go and why. And oh, by the way, if you do this with this number, then you can do XYZ to then help lower your tax liability. So please do not try to minimize what we do as just putting in numbers. Now, are there people that just put numbers in? Yes, they are. That's why you got to talk to these people.
Right.
But any good tax person is going to be able to tell you the law.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not just we just putting in numbers. No, I take at least 100 hours of continuing education every year. I'm only required to do 24. So, yes, my geek game is like up there. Okay. But
Mhm.
there is no requirement for a tax person to take continuing education, an uncredentialed tax person. So I'm gonna pick on Bobby because I see your name there. So you, Bobby, can go get you some tax software, pass a background check, get your prepare tax ID number, get your EFIN, and boom, you are in tax business. Then Bobby would be the person that's just putting in numbers because they have no idea what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. It's similar to the people that do their own taxes and don't know what they're doing. And I always tell people, I advise against doing even your own taxes if you do not have any education. You do not know what you're doing. Now, let me give you an example. Yes, Bobby, you can ask. Please ask all the questions. Someone, when I was doing taxes, preparing taxes, and I get tired real quick because I only tolerate so much patience. Seriously, that's why I don't do it. People keep asking me to do it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I will refer out. Okay. A lady came to me because the person that prepared her taxes did them wrong. So her refund was held up with the IRS. And so she sent me the information. It looked like it was a foreign language. But the bottom line was whoever she hired did not properly state they stated self-employment income as employment income. So they didn't know the difference between employment income and self-employment income or where to put it on the tax form. So that lady had thousands of dollars held up that she couldn't use for her family until she resolved the issue. Now, I didn't do it because it was a mess. So understand, when you go hopping from one person to the next that's messing up your taxes, it's going to be very difficult to hire a professional because when we see that, to me, when I see it, I'm running for the hills because
Mm-hmm.
again, we can be held accountable too
Yes.
as professionals. And if I can't read information, if it makes no sense to me, I'm not making up anything. I will tell you, I don't understand this. You don't have enough documentation. It's not clear for me. And I'm not going to be the best person to help you. That's sad too, but I'm not going to put me myself in jeopardy and risk my
Absolutely.
integrity
And
to
risk
put
my business? Oh
no,
no.
put myself in
Mm.
that type of situation. So, understand that the importance of making sure you are working with the right people. Now, let's talk about some deductions really quickly. So, we're going
Okay.
to give it about 5 more minutes. I don't want to miss out on anything. What are some key deductions that you find many people miss out on? They just overlook.
So, for especially for my e-commerce squad, the cost of goods sold,
Mm,
right? So people that sell online or people that make their own products in general, the cost of goods sold, this is the thing that if I'm making a pen, I need the plastic thing, I need a little clicky thing, I need a little the little wire thing, the spring in the pen. All of that is the cost of goods sold to make that pen. So your cost of goods sold is deductible. The second thing is mileage.
oh, yeah,
Listen, mileage is totally one of the best deductions ever. The
it is.
problem is people don't track their mileage. So
That's
I
right.
had a I had a lady call me and she's like, I take the max mileage deduction. I said, ma'am, that is not a thing. And she said, excuse me. I said, it's not a thing. You need to have a mileage log. You need to track your mileage. There's so many apps out here now. But what people want to do is just turn the app on and set it and forget it. You still have to say if it's business or if it's personal. Okay. But get you an app, track your mileage. The mileage now is like, gosh, I think it's like 60 cents, 60 something
Two
cents a
cents per
mile.
mile. Yeah.
So every 2 miles you drive, that's a dollar and change you get to deduct from your business. Please do not fall for that. The government pays you to do XYZ. Okay. The government does not pay you to do nothing. You can deduct these things from your overall revenue. So the mileage. Um, the
Mileage is
next
huge.
mileage is huge.
It's
But
huge.
understand this is where auditors cut their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When auditors are learning to audit at the IRS, the first place they go is mileage because 9 times out of 10, you have not tracked it.
You need to track it to get
You
these
have to track
deductions.
it.
You if don't be afraid of audits in the IRS. If you document, you have it available. And she
Yes.
just told you, and I'll put some recommendations in the comments. I use when I was driving, I use Miles IQ. And swipe, I think left for business, swipe right for business, swipe left for if it's personal. It's so easy to track.
Yeah.
I tried manually. It didn't
But
work
see,
for
for me, I don't have a lot of miles. So my stuff is manual because I really
me.
don't go a lot of, I'm a tax person. Like
Right,
what, where we gonna go besides the post office? Like for real. And maybe to
right,
go get some stuff from Staples, but where we going, right?
right.
So yeah, so that I want to address something before I get to my last deduction. I want to
Mhm.
address something. Fei Fei says, as small business owners, some people may not be able to afford a tax professional. And I am going to tell you to go make money.
Yes,
That's what I'm going to tell you. See, the problem that I have with small business owners
yes.
is like Shante talked about this lack mentality. If you have a business, then you have the ability to go make the amount
Make
of money
money.
that you want. I don't care if you don't sleep because that's not what entrepreneurship is. It is not comfortable. So when you want to hire somebody, you need to say, how much of X do I need to do to hire this person?
Person.
That's it. Whenever I need to do something, when my daughter's like, Mommy, I want to go to the beach for spring break. How much is the beach? Beach gonna be about $2,500. Okay. I need to prepare X amount of returns, or I need to get X amount of tax planning clients, or I need to solve X amount of tax problems. I go make the money. So I want to listen. You have a business, you have a tool to go create the money that you want. End of story. And I say that with
Thank
love.
you. Thank
But
you.
the last deduction that I want to talk about is
That's so good.
putting these children to work.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So let me
Um,
talk about that for a moment. Yes, you can hire your kids to work in your business. The general age is between 7 and 17. Okay. But you got to put them on payroll. Okay. You got to put them on payroll. See, the thing is, people want to hire their kids, but don't want to do the things necessary to hire their kids to get the deduction.
right.
Okay. And if you say, Lysandra, I don't make enough money to hire my kids, what am I going to tell you?
Go
Go
make
make more
money.
money.
Go make money. More money.
Go make money. And they have to have a position in the business. They have to actually do work. Do not let somebody tell you that you can hire your kid to wash their dishes. It's in your business.
Business.
And my business, my son, although he's 20 now, but when he was a teenager, he helped me in my office. Like, here is how you enter a W-2, son. Okay. My daughter, she did my admin work until she got tired of it. Like, mommy, I don't want to stuff these envelopes no more. So she quit working for me. But yeah, but this is what you do. You have to treat them like an employee that you don't know. Put all of that paperwork in place, put them on payroll, and you have to pay them a wage that is in line with what they do. You can't just lowball them. If you are, there has to be something that is commensurate with their age. If you've got a teenager and they're doing your social media, because that's what teenagers do, right? So, yeah, so you can absolutely do that. There is a way to do it. There's lots of I's and T's and all of those things to cross. But if you do that, then yes, you can absolutely hire your kids. You have an LLC, that's great. You can do that as a sole proprietor too. You don't need an LLC to hire your children. You can do that as a sole proprietor if you make money. And listen, the thing about the tax code is this. The tax code is not made for broke businesses.
Ooh.
You can't even take the self-employed health insurance deduction if you don't make money.
In your business.
It's not made for broke. You cannot take advantage of the tax code with a broke business.
I could tell you, my sister. We speak in the same language. Like, no, we give it to
Yeah,
them real. That I'm
yeah.
not gonna sugarcoat. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know to go build wealth over here, to take advantage of these tax strategies. And so many people, again, are stuck in the lack mindset. Instead, you have to be focused on, what do I need to do as the boss, the CEO of my business, to go do what it is I want to do? How much money do I say this all the time. I'm gonna say it again. We spend a lot of money, and this is not even the iPhone. This is an Android. Okay, it's a smartphone. We have these smartphones, and we don't use them for the features that they have.
Yep.
This one has a calculator. I open up my calculator every day. I have a plan. I have Excel spreadsheets that talk about how much money do I need to make. We sell this. We're offering this service. We're launching this. How much money do I need to make here, here, here? And then how much after that? How are we going to go out here and make it? How am I going to market it? How am I going to get it in front of the people I need to get it in front of? We keep talking about why we can't do what it is we need to do, what's necessary in business. If you do it, the hard stuff, you're going to be successful. You're going to make more money. Your business is going to be able to reach 7 years like Lysandra and 10 years like myself. And you're making money in your business. What people don't realize is you cannot just go get an LLC and think and call it a day and think that's it. That was the mindset of all the people that missed out on all the COVID relief, that continue to miss out on grants and new and contracts and new opportunities that are coming, because you start a business is in the mindset that you're going to make money. If you don't think you can make money in a business, in said business, don't start it. Okay. You have to have the mindset, I'm starting this business. I was given the vision to start this business. This business is needed. I'm going to operate in purpose, and I'm going to make money, including nonprofits.
Who have mercy, Jesus.
Who
Come
think you're
on.
not in business to make money? Some of the wealthiest organizations are multi-million dollar, billion-dollar nonprofits.
St. Jude is a nonprofit. You don't think they got multi-billions of dollars? If y'all don't come on, listen,
That's right.
somebody said they want to hire their children, they're in their 20s. Listen, even hiring your kids in your 20s, yes, they need a W-2. If
Yes.
even if they're minors, they need a W-2. But even paying your 20-year-old to work in your business is shifting income into a lower tax bracket
Yes.
because they're probably going to be in that 12% tax bracket while you up here in 32, right? So you have, yeah, so yes, hiring your younger children in, your adult children in your business, putting them on payroll, you're gonna be paying for them jokers anyway, because they broke. These college students is broke. Right? So that
Yes.
way, instead of you writing a check for something, you can be paying them and they write their own checks because you're gonna be
Yes.
paying for it anyway.
Put
Because
them
when
on
they don't,
payroll.
when they can't pay their electric bill, who they coming to? You.
Right.
And when my kids come to me, I'm like, I sure need some stuff done in my business. Like, oh, you want some Jordans? We need to make some Jordan money.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I
So
love it.
yeah, put those adult children. Listen, I know we're going over, but we're gonna talk about this. See, when
Yes.
people be talking about this legacy, we creating legacy wealth, people be legacy wealthing me to make me want to throw up.
Mm-hmm.
You are not teaching your children how to run your business. Because if something happens to you, who gonna take it over? Do you know why these Walton children don't work? Sam Walton created Walmart. His great 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 grandchildren ain't even got to work because he created a family business. Everybody hates Trumps, but guess what? He created a family
Family
business.
business.
The Kardashians, a
Family
family
business.
business. What you think Beyonce and Jay-Z doing? Family
Family
business.
business.
Because when Blue was up there dancing on that stage, I guarantee you she got a paycheck.
She
And
was.
that was money
She got a
Beyonce didn't
paycheck.
have to pay taxes on. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. A business is a blessing. You
Yes.
guys, if you then employ your children, you are also teaching them how to run this business. So when you get ready to go off and sip my ties on the beach or whatever, your kids at home working now. It's their turn. But you've then created something to pass on to your children. You can't pass on a job. I got nothing against jobs. Let me be crystal and clear because we need people who love their jobs. I have people who work for me and they love working for me. But you know what? You can't pass on a job. I love these doctors and nurses that's out here and firemen and policemen and all these people that love their jobs. I do. But you can't pass on a job. You created a business that you can give your kids. They can either choose to run it or they have an asset to sell.
Oh man.
Okay? So
Run
this is
it
what
or asset
to
to
sell.
sell. That means your business has value.
Yes. But it only has value if you're making money.
If you're making money. Yes.
Okay.
I
I'm
love it.
The
Okay.
doors of the church are now open.
We're gonna have to do another one of these videos. And I didn't want to
Yeah.
cut it short because I didn't want to miss out on anything. This is an
Yeah.
important video, and there's not enough of the conversations around this topic that need to be had because there's a millions of people in business that don't understand taxes,
Yeah.
taxations, and their responsibilities in it. Understanding the people you hire and their roles. Don't get them confused with your accountant confused with your bookkeeper, and your bookkeeper confused with what you hired your tax professional to do.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what to look for when you're hiring. Know that there are deductions. That there are certain things that were set up specifically for business owners, but you cannot take advantage of them if you don't know about them, if you don't hire the right people that can inform you about them, and if
Mm-hmm.
you're not maintaining appropriate documentation and records
Yes.
to account for these deductions you take. So record keeping is so important.
Hmm.
I can't tell you how many people delete, they just don't keep records.
Yeah.
They delete
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Or they keep them in a box that can get lost, caught on fire, stolen, so they're not secured, or they're just not keeping them at all.
Yeah. It's painful.
And if
And it
it's not
becomes evident in the
documented,
audit. Yeah.
if it's not documented, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
And you can't get credit for it. I don't know about you, but I want to get credit for any and everything that I can get credit for, and I did. That's because I was prepared. So that's what we're here to do, to prepare you. If you're not already prepared, and that's a lot of you, it's okay. But we're going to
Yeah.
start today on the right track. And for
Start
those of
today.
you that asked about, again, hiring Lysandra, I this is the type of person you need to hire as your tax professional. Okay. So we're going to close this out. We're going to bring her back, continue to ask your questions. We'll follow up after the show. But can you let them know what you have going on, and tell them about your book? Her book is
Yes.
amazing.
So listen, I have a book on Amazon, and right now it's really cheap, you guys. Okay,
It's in
it's
the
like four.
description. It's
It's
in the
like
description.
$4. Okay, it's really like $4, and it's a short read, and it's called the No Nonsense Guide to Home Business Management. These are foundational things that you can do to set yourself up for success. There is no loop it. There is no swoop it. It is just do these things, and these are the foundational things to help you have the proper foundation. When you have the proper foundation, it don't matter how high you go, right? If you build a weak foundation, you go so high and
Mhm.
crumble, right? So there are just some things you need to put in place, some habits you have to develop. And if you do those things, then you will be successful. The No Nonsense Guide to Home Business Management.
Yes,
Um,
it's in the description, and we will put it in the comments. So, in the video where the words are in the description, what we call the caption, all her contact information is there, because there's a lot of people want to connect with you. Her contact information is there, and you can also give. Can people reach you?
So, okay, for real, I live on Facebook, right?
Yes, she's
I
on
really do.
Facebook and YouTube and
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, it's Facebook and YouTube. But you can reach out to me at everetttaxsolutions.com is my website. You can go to Homebiz Tax Talk, homebiztaxchat.com. I have to get it right. Homebiztaxchat.com to schedule a discovery call. And so I will leave you with this. I want you to stop after all of this and just take a moment to think. Okay. I want you to think about where you are, what you need to get together, right? I know it's time to file taxes and such. Okay, great. But if that means you need to go back and get um, get your revenue and expenses together, then start doing that 1 month at a time. Okay. And so if you continue to do that, and if you start doing it ahead of time, then tax time is not going to be a surprise. It's not going to be painful. And I get not having no money in the beginning. Okay. A spreadsheet is where you start, is not where you stay.
Right.
So your first goal is to make enough money to hire a bookkeeper and hire a tax person. That's your first financial goal,
Yes.
because those are the two critical people that's going to help you be able to then grow your money. So you're saving more of your money, you're keeping more of your money, so that then you can go and hire the finance professional and all of those things. But it's just one step at a time. Do not despise small beginnings. Okay. My
Yes.
first tax season, I had 5 whole clients. 5. Now I'm at like 300. Okay. Do not despise small beginnings. Just keep at it. The more seeds you sow, the bigger your harvest will be.
The more seeds you sow, the more greater your harvest will be. That's great. So thank you so much. And we see in the comments people are sharing payroll. tools and things like that. I know I use Gusto. There's a lot of good ones out there. So look at the comments too. There's a lot of good recommendations. So everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But as you continue to grow, then you invest in new and better tools that
Yes.
is going to better help your business. Okay. So I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to bring Lashandra on. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence and your knowledge and your wisdom and your expertise. I know our audience really enjoyed it. If you missed the beginning, go back and rewind it, bookmark it, save it, because there was a lot of great information shared here today for free that you can go use, right? Take
Yes.
it step by step, but we need to keep movement in the business and making money. And there's no shortage of opportunities to make money. If you don't know how, just go watch some of my videos, my recent videos on 2024, how to make money in your business. These are ways to make money in your business. Do it online. Get an online presence.
And there are stupid ways to make money. Have you
Yes,
guys heard of Ship Your Enemies Glitter? That is my favorite story. I love that guy. He made a business out of shipping people glitter. It blew up so bad, he sold it for like $80,000 in 3 months. Envelopes, glue, and glitter. Who has glitter? Parents, moms, we have glitter. Come on, guys.
there's
Use
no
your head. No
there's
shortage of
so many,
opportunities.
so many ways. But if you need ideas, go to our featured videos, click on the video tab. Also, I'm doing a reel series on my personal Facebook page. So if you're not following me on my personal Facebook page, we already did this series on our She Boss Talk pages. It's a funding series. So 13 tips on how to get your business funded. If you're not already enrolled in our Bankable Business Mastermind, it starts February the 12th. Use the code birthday48 for a discount. You want to go to bankablebusinessmastermind.com. And this is going to help you get your business in order, well positioned. So you go from being denied funding to approved funding. Okay. There's so many out there of us like that. And I was prepared. That's why I was able to get it. So I'm going to help you get prepared so you don't have to worry about when you need money and capital fusion in your business, you can't get it. Okay. So again, we thank you so much for tuning in. This has been 24 tax tips 2024 tax tips for your business. Let's go implement these tips in our business. Come back and share your stories and testimonials. Let us know if you want us to come back. We'll bring Lashandra back to share more with you all that's going to help you build wealthy through entrepreneurship in your business. As always, continue to be the boss with amplified impact and have a great day.